What's up guys, Kara Corey here and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we are doing something a little bit different. We are doing a chit chat, get ready with me. No, you're not on the wrong channel. This is Kara Corey, registered dietitian over here. But I wanted to do something different today with you guys. A lot of you guys have asked for my makeup routine, but I do know that a lot of you are not here to watch me do my makeup or hear me talk about makeup and beauty. So I thought we would do a chit chatty, get ready, and I'm gonna give you guys some life updates, some health updates, some rhinoplasty updates. So maybe you're not here for the makeup, but you wanna just listen along with me. So if you guys are interested in that, then please keep on watching. If you wanna be able to do this fabulous look here. And also make sure you guys are subscribed. You can hit that post notification bell as well. That way you guys are notified each and every time I do upload a video. And for today's video, we are going to be reviewing the Tati Beauty Blendiful. My first time using this today and going through each and every step of my makeup routine using this guy. So let's jump on into it. Not my usual video for you guys, but so many of you said you wanted to see my makeup routine, which I did one video a long time ago. Some of my makeup routine has changed, but I thought to kind of give you guys what you asked for with my makeup routine. I would also take advantage of the Tati Beauty Blendiful. My sister purchased this for me. It's from Tati Beauty. Huge Tati fan. I've got my Tati Beauty textured neutrals palette right in front of me as well. But I'm very intrigued by this. I've seen a lot of reviews, so I kind of already have an opinion formulated on it. But I thought today would be fun just going through, trying this out with my usual everyday makeup routine for work. And then I'm also just gonna do a little chit chat, life update, story time for you guys while we're doing this video, because I know not everyone here cares about me doing my makeup and what makeup products I use. Some of you guys come here straight for Bruce Wayne, who is snoozing on the couch behind me, but just gonna go through my makeup, try this out. I'll give you guys a full review. It comes with the big, this is my first time feeling it. It was $18 for the two of these. It comes with the big, this is rather big, like look. It's like almost the size of my face. And then it comes with this sweet little heart mini, which Tati says is great for like blotting up any excess oils throughout the day, which my skin has changed a lot. Now that it's wintertime, I've gone on and off a bit, but I'm mostly still an oily bitch. So, yeah, I'll let you guys know how that one goes, but I guess I'm gonna use this one today for applying all my makeup. My face is already moisturized. I got my eye creams on. We're all good in that department. So the first thing I'm gonna start with is the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. This is what I always use. So I feel like to really test this out, I might as well use all my normal products, which I know I saw Manny MUA use his primer with this. I don't do it. I don't know if I should dip it in there. I'm not gonna dip it in there. Am I gonna dip it in there? When I dip, you dip, we dip. I'm not gonna dip. I'm just gonna like, that's a lot, Kara. That was a little aggressive on the primer, but I'm just gonna throw it on my face like that. Then use this, I guess. Wow, that's a lot of product on my face. Ooh, okay. Oh, and push in. So doing makeup for me right now is still a little bit weird. Like it's not super natural for me because I'm really cautious around my nose. For most of you, you guys know, I had a nose job, a rhinoplasty, and a septum repair about 2.5 months ago. And I do plan on doing a full updated nose job recovery progression, going through how things are going in a bit more detail for you guys, because this process has been so interesting to me. Like there's just, I don't know, it's a lot more than I had planned, even though I was very like researched on it and I knew it would take a full year of healing. You still kind of just don't believe it and you want to just be fully healed and you're not. So a lot of changes day by day. So I'm going to do a separate video for you guys on that. But when I work around my nose, I'm like really careful. Like I just don't even really like touching my nose, to be honest with you. Why do I feel like I have a dog hair in my nose? Speaking of dog hair, speaking of my nose, I don't know if that little hair came from Did the little hair come from the sponge or is it a dog hair? I hate the feeling of having little hairs on my face. So I'm hoping that didn't come from this. It's really soft, feels really nice. But yeah, I kind of feel like I've got little hair stuck in my nose right now. But is it okay? Is it like socially acceptable to pick your nose on camera? You won't be able to see that. Like there's like just a few little hairs on sticking to my nose. So I'm not sure if that came from that or not. But anyways, my pore filling primer is on. Next, we're going to go to foundation. This is a recent buy for me. This is the Tarte Face Tape Foundation. It's supposed to be, it is full coverage. I love a full coverage moment. And it is more mattifying, but I do feel like because I am more greasy, I get a little dewy as the day goes on. But, and this is in the shade 34S medium sand. I have self tan, so my neck is definitely like a different color than my face, you guys. So it'll all work, it'll all blend in. But actually, before we do that, I lied. See, I'm always like, how do makeup YouTubers like forget their normal process? It's a lot harder than it looks, multitasking, the talking, and the makeuping. But actually what I'm going to do before I do foundation is I usually use the IT by Breakout treatment concealer, and I just kind of spot treat. I don't really actually have breakouts despite what it may look like on my face. What I do have just from having acne is like a lot of hyperpigmentation, so I have a lot of red spots on my face. But honestly, it's really interesting because speaking of my rhinoplasty, so we're just gonna spot treat my redness. My skin's actually been really under control. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I feel like I've spoken more on Instagram about my issues with acne, and just what I've done for treatment. I don't really know what's helped. I'm going to be honest with you. All I know is coming off birth control was like a huge shock to my body, like big time. And I just went through so many changes coming off birth control, like more than I ever anticipated. And acne was probably the hardest of the changes. Most of the changes were positive, but the acne was really the hardest thing I had to deal with. But I don't know, I've gotten into a really consistent routine with cleansing my skin, taking off my makeup, make sure I do a thorough job. I do take hair, skin, and nails by Pervitum. That's been really helpful. Just making sure I drink a lot of water. And what else? Like, I don't know, I feel like kind of not simplifying, but being more cognizant of what makeup I'm using. Like this foundation has hyaluronic acid in it. Being mindful of talc and fragrances in some of my products. So that's why I do have some like bougier makeup items. I'm just gonna squirt this baby right on my face. That's normally how I do it. I think has helped quite a bit with my skin. But yeah, it was really nice when I had my surgery, since I wasn't doing anything except sitting around the house. I just did like a few pumps. I didn't wear makeup for 2 weeks, and it was really nice to let my skin breathe. And I had like no irritation whatsoever. Like that pinkness that I get to my skin, that little bit of hyperpigmentation, it wasn't there. I felt like my skin looked awesome. So any chance I can to like not wear makeup, I really try to. Like I honestly sometimes think I look better without makeup on because it feels better, and I don't know, like I do just like a natural look. So this is my first time using this, as I believe I mentioned. I normally use a foundation brush. My first impression of using this is, I don't know, maybe I'm not doing it right. Am I supposed to smear it or just pat it? I'm not like obsessed with the application so far, but it also could be because I'm talking to you guys. I don't know. I usually use the IT Cosmetics foundation brush, and I love the way that just kind of applies over my face. So typically I do a two-step. I do the brush, and then I'll take like a wet beauty blender and just kind of push it all in. But it would be nice if I don't have to have a two-step process with my foundation. So I'm gonna be really gentle going over my nose because I don't know, I wasn't really expecting this at this point. Like I felt like I'd have no pain, and actually I don't have pain. I never had pain with my nose job whatsoever, but the actual like touching of my nose, it's very, very sensitive. So I am just very, very cautious with going over my nose with makeup. I haven't really been exfoliating on my nose whatsoever, which isn't really the best thing, but you know, I gotta let my nose heal. I don't know. I'm not used to like makeup on camera, so I don't know how that looks, you guys. I feel like it didn't apply as well as my brush. And I feel like I have little hairs on my face. I do. Is that just me? I feel like no one else complained about that. Sorry. Let's try. I feel like you can still see a little bit of my redness. I'm gonna try putting just a little bit more foundation on. Just another little pump to go on my cheek and my chin. That was probably way more than I needed. I feel like I probably wear more foundation than I need to, but I just really want to make sure I cover up my redness and see how this does with like an extra layer of application. I feel like this takes longer actually than a brush. I'm gonna go down my neck just a little bit too, just to make sure we're all matching. I might be too blown out coming up that close, but I don't know. So far, I'm not like obsessed with the application of the foundation. I have read a lot of people prefer this for more of a powder moment versus liquid, but then some people use it for everything, so I thought let's try using it for everything today. And I do already have brows on, by the way, in case you're wondering why that looks kind of crazy. I will say, now that I've gone over it one more time and looked at it up close, I feel like the appearance of my pores, which are normally very noticeable on my nose and like right on the outside of my cheeks, I do feel like it filled in my pores a bit more using this. I always use that primer and I usually do have more pores. So maybe that was the way to go on the sponge, but it did take a lot longer. Moving right along, we're gonna go to concealer. This is not the concealer I want though. Concealer is really important to me just because of my very dark under eyes, so I try to conceal those as best I can. This is the Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is in Light Sand. I just got this at Ulta. My sister turned me on to this. I really, really like it. I do find it very full coverage and very hydrating, so I'm interested to see how this applies with Tati's Beauty Sponge. I don't really do a lot of highlighting of my face, but right there on this part, that's where the bump was on my nose that they shaved down for the rhinoplasty. It's still like you can almost see a bruise coming through there, which I'm guessing is normal. Like Jason and I went snowboarding, and when I got back in the car, it was cold out, but it wasn't like crazy cold. It was like super black and blue. It freaked me out. Like, I'm like, is this okay? And my nose gets really numb if I'm outside in the cold. And I believe that's just because like the nerve endings haven't all like reattached yet, which that's just my guess from what I've read. So those are the main things that I've noticed. I press very lightly. So I've just been doing a little bit of concealing over that area, but honestly I don't think anyone can really tell other than myself. So like I said, I do have my 3-month follow-up with Dr. Kim. That'll be coming up soon, like the beginning of February. So if you guys have certain questions about the procedure or things like that you'd like me to answer in a follow-up video, then let me know, because like I said, I will do a follow-up video on that. So let me know any questions you have about the procedure itself or just the healing, recovery time, anything like that. Feel free to leave it in the comments below. I'm happy to answer. Or just DM me on Instagram if you want to remain anonymous, because I know a few people have also recently had the surgery done and they had the same experience I did, where they're super nervous to let people know about it because they didn't want to be judged. And you guys just welcomed me. You guys were so amazing on that video. I was really surprised I didn't get any any hate, any judgment. Like, you guys were just like, do you, girl. So I know I have the best community here on the YouTube because you guys are just great. I didn't think you'd handle it like that. I feel like I'm not a fan of this yet. Like, I don't know if I love the way that applied the concealer. I normally use a wet beauty blender to apply my concealer. Maybe I'm just not used to this. We're gonna try a little bit more. Let's use a little bit more concealer and see if that does the trick. I will say already, this is taking me way longer than what it normally would. Maybe just because it's not my normal routine, but also because I just feel like it's taking longer to blend out. All right, well, we're gonna go with that. I've committed to this. I'm using this for every step of the way, I guess. So next we're gonna do powder, because normally I would set my face after this. And we're gonna use the Hourglass Translucent Veil Setting Powder. I like this one just because it is talc free, and I do find talc can break me out. I don't bake or anything like that. I just like to, you know, press it in under my under eyes. And I'm gonna go on my eyelids as well, just to set my veiny eyelids. If you guys didn't know this about me, I am a huge makeup lover. I follow a lot of makeup YouTubers, and I've probably spent all of my earnings off YouTube, I would say, at Sephora and Ulta. Actually, the YouTube money that we make, and I say we because it's Jason and I, it's both our channel, the majority of it goes back into the channel. I'm just gonna let my smile lines bake for a moment, and also on my chin a little bit too. What the hell? We're just gonna do a full bake. Let that go under there. See, the little bit of money that Jason and I make from YouTube, it goes into our joint account. We do share some of our money. This is kind of like a marriage question we get asked. We have our own separate money. Like, he makes his paycheck, I make my paycheck, but then we have a joint account where YouTube money goes in there, affiliate money for things go in there, and we decide as a couple like how that money gets spent. So with YouTube in particular, Jason and I tend to either A, put it back into the channel, whether it be for lighting or camera gear or like things for set, like different lights, different, even things like the little lit up tree in the background. We might use it on stuff like that just to kind of like, you know, we justify it by putting it back into the channel. But other than that, it pretty much goes into our joint account. We ain't making that much money on the YouTubes, but I'm not complaining about it. It's extra money. It helps pay some bills, and you know, that's how we do it. I'm also going to use my Charlotte Tilbury Airless Flawless Finish Powder. I'm going to go into that guy and just give myself an extra little powder finish, just because I have such oily skin that I feel like if I don't like go super powdery at the beginning, I'll get real oily. But I also wanted to do a little story time with you guys because many of you have reached out to me regarding my health update, because if you saw, I did a video early last year. Was it early last year? No, it was in the summertime. It was like back in July. It was called My Hormones Are Fucked. And I went to the doctor, and then I shared with you guys all my labs and how they looked and what was going on, and shared with you my frustration. So a lot of you guys have wanted an update on that. So I wanted to give you a little update because I did finally go back to the doctor. I went to a different doctor. Let's get the foundation off my lips. I don't care for my lips looking like a butthole. All right, just want to get the foundation off my lips, and I'm gonna put a little lip gloss on, a little chapstick. It's just ColourPop Lippy Balm. Throw this on usually after I wipe the foundation off. Foundation just like dries the shit out of my lips. I don't know how people just leave it on their lips. I can't do it. Can't do it. Okay, but yes, next we're gonna go to a little bronzing moment. I'm gonna use the Hourglass Ambient Lightening Bronzer and Luminous Bronze Light. I just keep using the same spot of the sponge. Maybe I should take a clean spot. Maybe that's the key. Just gonna work it in here. Oh, that might be way too much. Let me see. Okay, so anyways, part of my doctor's appointment, I wasn't convinced that my thyroid wasn't messed up. I also had concerns with my hormones in general, my estrogen, testosterone, all that stuff. And my doctor just kind of was like, meh, you're fine. You're a healthy young female. Don't worry about it. Everything looks good. Although, you know, he did know my periods were irregular. So he was able to get me a referral to an endocrinologist. This was in July. I did not get the appointment until January 2020. So I have been waiting since July to have this appointment with the endocrinologist. And I won't even say where I went or who I saw, but it was not a good experience. It was a really, really bad experience. And I will say I had a lot of anxiety before I went in there because I was just so concerned with like not being heard or taken seriously. And my worst fear basically came true. But honestly, I went in there trying to have a positive attitude, trying to be open to whatever feedback they'd give me. And I have never been more angry in my life than leaving this doctor's office. I Snapchatted my sister, I called Jason, I was furious. And it made me furious more so because I feel like I'm someone who's knowledgeable about health, about the human body, about dietary impacts, supplementation, and I feel like the average person may not know that, or someone who's not as knowledgeable, or maybe someone who's older, and this doctor was just so offensive. I feel like he was offensive. I feel like he was ignorant. I feel like he was uneducated, and my biggest complaint was he just didn't listen. He just didn't hear me. He didn't care about my symptoms. He didn't care about how I felt. And in all transparency, like I put on like my health form that I filled out for them. I'm just bronzing to death. Like we're just going to keep going. I put on my health form that day that like I was depressed. Like I've been having issues with depression and mood fluctuations and lack of energy impacting quality of life. Even though I've been bronzing for like 17 minutes, I kind of love the way it's like looking. I don't know if this looks good on camera. I feel like how it's looking when I look in the monitor is totally different than when I'm looking in my mirror. Sometimes I take the bronzer on my cheeky cheeks a little bit too, just to make me look a little sun-kissed. But yeah, so the biggest thing I felt like was the doctor just didn't hear me. He just didn't listen to me. He didn't look over my symptoms. Like he said nothing to me about my quality of life or feelings of depression, which is someone who works in mental health and understands the severity of mental health issues. The fact that he didn't even acknowledge that as part of my symptoms or validate how I was feeling, like none of that occurred. So long story short, because I could ramble and talk about how disgusted I am from that appointment for literally an hour. We're going to move into blush now. I'm going to use my favorite, the Buxom Wanderlust Dolly Blush. I like it. It says it's primer infused, and honey, I believe it because this literally is the only blush that lasts on my face. I also have a Patrick Ta one I really love, but it doesn't last on my face as long. And as Stephanie Lita is, I am a huge blush whore. It's my favorite. I want big rosy cheeks, so I want my blush to last all day as well. So I'm going to take like a cleanish looking spot. I'm going to pat it on my hand first because I just can't tell like how dark it's going to come out. So yeah, long story short, this doctor was basically like, he's like, why are you here today? And I told him, I said, I really want to have my thyroid more evaluated as well as my hormones because ever since getting off birth control, I've had acne on and off. Let me give a little fake smile here. I said, I've had acne on and off. I said, my periods aren't regular. Oof, that came on intense. I'm here for it. And the second I said my periods aren't regular, he goes, oh, when's the last time you had your period? And I told him it was like a couple weeks ago. And he's like, okay, do you have your period once a month? And I said, well, yeah, I always have it once a month, but the problem is I usually have it more than that. I usually have it every 2 to 3 weeks. And I said, just as of lately, which is interesting, I feel like my acne is regulated better now that I've been taking supplements. I said, my period, the past 2 months, I've had it every 4 weeks, which is perfect. And he goes, oh, you have your period every month. That's regular. And I said, well, no, I do have it every month, but I have it I was having it every 18 days. That's not a regular cycle. That's not how frequently you're supposed to be having it. And he was like, you have it every month, you're regular, and moved on. I'm like, okay. And then we got into supplements somehow. And how do we get into supplements? I'm gonna kind of carve out my cheek a little bit here. We're gonna do a little of that. I forget how we got into talking about supplements. I was asking him, oh, this is it. I asked him about my testosterone levels because my testosterone level was so low. It was off the chart. A female should be less than, whatever range. And mine was just less than that. It didn't even show a number. I was so low. I'm taking the Fenty Beauty banana powder, and I'm just gonna kind of carve that out a bit. And so I was asking him about that, and we started talking about protein a bit and supplements, and no. Okay, here's how it went. So I asked him about my testosterone, why it would be so low and off the charts. And he goes, let me look at your body. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, can you stand up? And I'm like, can't you tell I'm a small person sitting down? I don't know. It was just weird. I wasn't expecting that. So I stand up and he goes, yeah, your shoulders look a little big in proportion to the rest of your body. And you know me, being into bodybuilding, I was took it as a compliment. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, well, I lift weights. I work out. I used to do bodybuilding. And, that is where it really, really went downhill. He took that statement and ran with it. He was like, oh, you did bodybuilding? So what supplements do you take for bodybuilding? And I said, well, what do you mean for bodybuilding? And he was like, well, what supplements would you take? And I said, well, I haven't been I train like a bodybuilder, but I haven't competed in 3 years. And he goes, well, what would you take? And I'm like, do you mean protein, a protein powder? I would drink a protein shake. And the second I said that, every issue I have was related to me drinking protein shakes. Can somebody here explain to me how one equals the other? Let's take a moment and use some dewy setting spray by Anastasia. Whew, that feels good. He was like, I said, what? He goes, well, that's your issue. You drink the protein shake and it just goes in your muscles. And I said, I'm confused. So you're saying because I drink protein shakes that my testosterone would be low? And he's like, yep. He goes, what's the number one reason that basketball players get injured? And I'm thinking, because they're elite athletes, so they're more apt to get injured because they overtrain, because of what they push their body to. And he goes, nope, it's because of the protein shakes. It's because of the calcium. The protein shakes and the calcium is why they break their bones. I mean, he just lost me. He lost me. And he said that that's the reason why my testosterone's low. That's the reason why I'm having these symptoms. I don't know what the frick he was saying. Finally, I cut him off and I said, sir, I haven't competed in 3 years. And I just said to him, even though this isn't true, I was like, I don't drink protein shakes anymore. This whole conversation is irrelevant to what is happening and why I'm here to see you today. I'm here to see you to talk about my symptoms and get this figured out. And he immediately shut down and he was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And he goes, well, we can order these labs. And then he goes back to the computer and plugs in a full thyroid panel. I think he's retesting I don't even know exactly what he was retesting because at that point I didn't even want to talk to him. I think he was retesting my testosterone. I think I don't know if he even tested like my female hormones or not, to be honest with you. He just didn't care. That's how I felt. He didn't care. He just dismissed how I was feeling. He blamed it on supplements. I did write down the supplements that I was taking on my sheet, and he was like, I'll already test your labs, but you need to get off all the chemicals. That was the other thing he was all about. Like, he's very, very anti-supplements, which, like, whatever, fine. But I'm not saying you have to take all the supplements in the world, but I saw a direct correlation with the natural herbs and supplements I started taking and improvements in my skin and my period regulation. Just trying to do my own thing with the help of Jason, actually. He was the one that did most of the research. But this is just a little sample I got, by the way. It's Shape Tape Glow Wand. So I'm using this kind of like as my highlight, just because I don't know how that sponge is going to work on a powder, but we'll try that too. Who cares? So yeah, his whole thing with supplements was he just said they're chemicals and that nobody in the United States should be taking supplements at all unless you're malnourished or unless you're a geriatric. Then no one in the US needs supplements. Again, what, really? That is your stance? I get it if you think people take too many supplements, but he was just like, yeah, Americans are just so quick to pop anything in their mouth that you tell them to. They don't even care what it is. And I just was like, dude, I was on birth control for 20 years. There's proven research that supports when you're on birth control for that long that it depletes your body of vital vitamins and minerals. You can't just get that all back in through your diet. There's a reason my hormones were messed up, and he was just like, get off all the chemicals you're taking. Like, chemicals, like, I'm taking vitamins and ashwagandha and ginkgo. Like, these are not chemicals. These are natural things. Nope, get off all the chemicals, he said. Give your body 2 weeks off all the chemicals, then come back and we'll do blood work. And I was just like, okay, I'm just going to go along with what you're saying, and I'm just going to tell you that, whatever you want to hear. I mean, there are certain things you need to be off of to get your thyroid tested that could impact it. I'm going in with a little cookie highlight too, a little extra glow. Like biotin. So I was getting off hair, skin, and nails anyways in order to have like an accurate depiction of what my labs were. But this guy was just like so offensive, and he didn't really care. He heard I took supplements, he heard I was a bodybuilder, and he heard everything he needed to hear, and just kind of was looking at me like I was a silly, stupid girl. That's how I felt. And it angered me because for a quick eye look, we're going to jump back into the eyes here. For work, I usually just like a one color moment, or these color pop super shock shadows are wicked awesome. So I'm just going to do like a couple of those on my eyelid, and those I'm going to use with my finger. That's what I like about these, is you don't even use like, you don't have to use a brush, and they're super pretty. So this one is Peekaboo. I'm so far away from the mirror that I don't know how I'm doing this. I lost my train of thought though. But yeah, I said what I needed to appease him, and he was like, yeah, so we'll get your labs done and I'll see you back here in a year. And I'm like, a year? Like, that's the amount of symptoms I just checked are and can be debilitating, and it just feels like you don't care and you'll see me back in a year. So what really angered me the most wasn't even about my own self, because I can handle myself. I know enough to find like a functional doctor, find someone else that I can get assistance from, do research on my own. What really bothered me more than anything is that the majority of people would have left there and just took what he said for face value and felt really discouraged, or not they weren't heard and you didn't get your answers, like you didn't get validated. You know, sometimes we just need someone to say, wow, like you're really not doing well, are you? I'm sorry to hear that. You know, sometimes we just need that validation coming from a professional. And this guy just didn't know. Ugh. And that's what made me sad, because I'm thinking about, like, what about like an elderly person going and seeing him, or, you know, just someone that really needed to be heard that day, you know, struggling with depression or something like that. And this guy just couldn't be bothered. Couldn't be bothered at all. So it was really disappointing. I will not go back to him, but I did go have my labs taken last week. So I'm just kind of waiting for those results. They said they would mail them to me. So I'm just kind of waiting for those results. When I get them, I'll make my own assessment of what those labs mean. I mean, they can call me, they can talk to me, but I'm really probably not going to put a lot of value in what they have to say. The whole process of even getting this appointment was just really stressful. The place itself just didn't really do a good job at establishing a nice rapport for someone who was a new patient there. And I think because I am in the medical field, it drives me nuts more than the average person. I hear that from others who work in healthcare. When, you know, you feel like you go above and beyond as a healthcare employee, and then you go to another place that just treats you like crap. Like, I don't know. It's just not... It's really unfortunate that these are the people that you go to when you're sick and when you need help and you need answers, and it just feels very discouraging that they don't want to listen to you. So I usually use those Super Shock shadows with my finger, but I'm also just going to run a brush over it really quick just to make sure like nothing's super harsh. I never realized how hard it would be talking and applying makeup at the same time. If I don't use those Super Shock shadows, I usually do like using the Tati Beauty palette. I've shared this before. It's like so pretty. I love the glitters on it. I love all the colors actually, but I don't usually use it for like an everyday look. But maybe I'll use a little bit of the Aura. I'll use a little of the Aura Metallic for my inner corner here. Just to wake me up a bit. And in other chit-chatty news, how are you guys? How have you guys been doing? I want to know what's going on with you. I just shared with you little information on my nose update, a little story time from the doctor's office. What's going on with you guys in 2020? Is your 2020 going good so far? Are you feeling like it's off to a good start? Are you feeling frustrated? I feel like the beginning of the year sometimes is tough for people because we have these expectations of like, I'm gonna crush the new year. And then, you know, life happens and shit happens and it just doesn't always go as planned. And it can look like on social media and YouTube, like we're all perfect and have our shit figured out. And most of us don't, you know? So let me know below. Are you guys having good stuff? Tell me something good below. If something's bringing you down, let me know. I did the live for Buff Bunny this past weekend, and it was really fun just being able to actively engage with you, like on the spot. Like I do try to be very active in the comments and chit chat back and forth with you guys, but it was really nice being able to on the spot answer your questions and have that engagement. So the lives are kind of like a lot to set up for, but I would like to do more lives. So, if you guys would like that, let me know down in the comments below. And if there's something in particular you'd want me to do a live on, or if you would want me to just do it like kind of open style Q&A, let me know. Next, we're going to put on some eyeliner, and I'm very bad at it, so be nice. Physicians Formula Ultra Black. I think I need a new one. Relatable. I think I need a new one. So, but anyways, I feel like because I don't have eyelash extensions anymore, I just love eyelash extensions, and my girl was so good. But when I had to get surgery, you can't have eyelash extensions, you can't have fake nails. I just really like simplified everything. So I haven't had eyelash extensions. I've been letting my eyelashes grow out, but I just feel like they look so small. So I feel like adding eyeliner kind of helps wake up my eyes. So I'm gonna try to do a little liner, and I'm definitely not talking to you guys while I do this because I ain't that good at it. So hang on a second. I do have hooded eyes, so wing eyeliner is a very finicky thing. Okay, not my best day for wing liner. I'm still like trying to get better with it, but I feel like it does just at least like add a little something to my eyes. So we're gonna leave it at that. The more I feel like I finick with it, the worse it gets. But anyways, we're gonna now add on some mascara, the On the Rise Volume Lift Mascara I really like. The dog's snoring behind me. So yeah, what other updates do I have for you guys? Oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you guys too, so we're almost in February, which, you know, I don't know what that means, but it just reminds me that we are coming into dead of winter, and Jason and I will be going to the Arnold Expo this year. We'll be there with MTS Nutrition, and I believe we'll be there sampling out the outright bars. So if you guys are gonna be there, let me know. I feel like every year I have people say, I didn't know you were gonna be there. So I wanna make sure you guys know. And if you're local or planning on traveling in for the event, then as soon as I know like booth details, I'll let you guys know as well. The Arnold honestly is super stressful of an expo. It's just so busy. It's so much different than the Olympia Expo. And Jason and I have done these for a while now. Like the first Arnold Expo we did was in 2015. And I was just like people weren't even like big at like fitness YouTubing yet. Like, I don't know. It was just, you know, I feel like there wasn't as many people vlogging. Now you go there and like everyone's got a camera in front of their face. But it's crazy. They're so packed. And we even still get starstruck because we'll like try to go meet like UFC fighters because there's always UFC fighters there, like Johnny Bones Jones. I don't know if he's still working with GAT Nutrition or not, but we've met him a few times. Who else have we met? We met one of the Diaz brothers at the Olympia. There's always guys there, so I am not opposed to waiting in line for someone if I need to. I don't know if beauty YouTubers use like a different light or something, but I feel like my makeup looks better like looking in the mirror away from these lights than it does to you guys right now. All right, what else? We did eyes. We did highlights. I have just lip gloss on, but we're gonna do my favorite lippy. I'm not gonna line my lips today. Sometimes I do line my lips, but my favorite lip combination is Patrick Ta Monochrome Moment in the Silky Lip Cream. And this is the color She's Independent. And then if I'm feeling like a high shine moment, I will top it with the Patrick Ta Lip Shine in She's an Influencer. So that's kind of my go-to. I usually do line my lips. I don't overline them, but sometimes I do. I just feel like I'm not good at it. But I love this. This one like really lasts all day for me. And it's just a perfect nude. I know some people don't like it because of the mint. I don't know why. How do you put on lip stuff and look cute? I don't mind mint. I don't know why anyone would mind mint. I'm sorry if I've sniffled at all during this. Now that I can actually breathe, I have a lot more juices flowing out of my nose. And I don't realize it. And I'm a little more like, I have these like little sniffles that I do just because I'm just literally not used to. Like, I can breathe, you guys. It's so great. But with that, I have more drippage. Okay, so I think that's my final look. Let me do a quick roundup before I finalize the video here. So we did use the Tati Beauty Sponge. I gotta say, like, honestly, I didn't like the application of it. Like, everyone raved about the application of it. What I didn't like about the application is that I feel like it took me so much longer. Now, was it because I was talking on here with you guys, not in my normal setup? Like, maybe I'll be quicker as I'm in like my normal environment, but I felt like it took me significantly longer, which is a drawback. Second drawback would be I don't feel like I could use this again, which is maybe not a bad thing. Like, I would need to clean this right away. Whereas my makeup brushes, I clean them maybe once a week, honestly. So that's another drawback. The positives about this though, and I don't know if it's coming out on camera or not with the lighting, but I feel like my makeup does look very like, number one, I feel like it helped my pores look less porous. Like, I think my pores look smaller, I guess is what I'm trying to say, which is really nice. I've never had that from just using like my Touch of Silk Canvas primer. I also do feel like the finish on it does look really like airbrushed. I'm not sure if that's coming across here, but I do really like the way the foundation is sitting on my skin right now. I did basically the same exact makeup routine yesterday, except using all my brushes, and I do feel like it just looks like my makeup is more like set in place today than it was yesterday, which for me I would hope would speak to like it lasting longer. So what I'll probably do is try this out during the work week, because that's the huge test for me. If something is going to be long lasting is if it'll survive a work day or not, because my makeup will be on for a full 8 hours. And at work, I tend to touch my face a lot because I get stressed out quite a bit. So yeah. Overall, I really like it. It was $18. You get 2 of them. I just don't know if it's fast enough for how fast I need to be for a work week, but I'm going to try it out some more this week, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts and feels after I use it more frequently if you're interested in that. If you guys did get the Blendiful and enjoy it, or have any other tips or tricks for how to use it, because today was my first time, obviously, so it's not really the best way to judge if it's amazing or not, because I'm just getting a feel for it. So I'm definitely going to use it more frequently. I'm going to throw this guy in my purse to like dab up my dewy oils and whatnot. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up today's video. I know it was a little something different. I hope you guys enjoyed getting ready with me and a little bit of chit chat story time. So I probably won't do these videos that frequently because it's just not my channel, but I thought it'd be fun to throw on here. So if you did like it, it would mean the world to me if you would hit the like button. It does help out the channel. It makes the video more shareable to other people when you're watching other videos. You guys get the recommended videos that pop up. So that just helps my video get recommended to other people who maybe aren't familiar with the channel. So I would appreciate that. And hit me up in the comments below. My ladies out there, let me know what your favorite makeup products are right now. And if you guys enjoyed this video or not, let me know. It was kind of, I give it up to makeup YouTubers. Like this is a lot to coordinate at once and look in the camera, but do your makeup good and talk about things. So I did my best. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure you are subscribed before you head on out of here, and I will be back. I'll see you in the next one with way more fitness content coming your way.